against the Raiders. I like Cleveland to win. There's something called the Streisand effect. It's when somebody tries to hide news and it ends up making it a bigger story. That's what the Cleveland Brown conspiracy theorists believe is happening, that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are trying to.
What they really don't want you seeing is that split second when Browns OC Tommy Rees stopped grinning, inhaled slow, and basically admitted that Shedeur Sanders' whole development journey is a wild ride that should come with a warning label and a seatbelt.
With any quarterback, with any player, really with any quarterback, you want them to feel as comfortable as possible. For young players like Dylan and Shadur, that's pulling from a lot of different avenues. That's pulling from things that.
One moment things look smooth, and the next he's dropping truth like he accidentally exposed a family secret on live TV. So get ready, because whatever he just revealed about Shedeur is way different from what fans were expecting. The Browns' offensive coordinator pretty much admitted that Shedeur Sanders is one of the rare young quarterbacks who can make you stressed and optimistic at the exact same time. And Rees isn't even hiding it. He's basically out here saying, yeah, our top priority is making Shadur comfortable, which sounds simple until you remember how tough it is getting a rookie QB to feel like he belongs in a room full of grown pros.
And also, Tommy Rees spoke about the new quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, and also one of his teammates. Yeah, they digging Shadur. They like Shadur. They want Shadur to succeed. And it's going to be important that the offensive coordinator and Shadur be on the same page and this offensive line this week, this Sunday.
According to him, it takes pulling from every tiny thing Shadur has ever felt good about, mixing in familiar plays and surrounding him with teammates just a little sharper than him so his confidence stays steady. It's almost like trying to teach a toddler to walk a tightrope, but with millions of dollars, a full stadium watching, and a city demanding greatness. And what's the secret recipe? Confidence. Everything revolves around confidence. Rees straight up admits the offense is built to make Shedeur feel like he's in charge. Like every time he calls a play, he's stepping into a warm bubble of certainty.
Call plays, you want to put in plays that breathe confidence into them as they hear them, as they call them, plays that they know they can make work. And then you press the guys around him to raise their level of play and play well to continue to breathe confidence into young players and into young quarterbacks. So that's really been the motivation this week moving forward. And
so not only does Shedeur need to feel comfortable, but he also has to depend on teammates performing at superhuman levels, which low-key sums up the Browns' entire offensive philosophy right now. Rees keeps saying he cares about the process, which in Brown's language means pouring every ounce of energy into making sure Shadur feels ready, steady, and respected every time he touches that field. Then you just cross your fingers and hope all that work actually shows up on Sunday. Sure, there's prep, game planning.
All I want to say to people is, like, you're right. Whatever stance, and Zach Jackson said this on his podcast this morning as well, but it was what I went to bed thinking. Whatever your preconceived notion was about Shedeur Sanders, if you were dug in like us and you thought Shedeur Sanders was far and away a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel, you're right. He proved that on Sunday. He looked...
Probably a couple pep talks with random metaphors about roots and branches or whatever coaches love using, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to comfort, not numbers. And honestly, that checks out when your young quarterback is still figuring out whether he's out here to toss touchdowns or simply make it through the day without getting crushed. Let's spin it back to that debut game, Shedeur's first real taste of NFL chaos when he got tossed straight into the fire and somehow didn't fold. Calling it tough is almost cute because it was way rougher than that. Picture stepping into a hurricane with nothing but a clipboard, and suddenly the whole franchise expects you to steer the ship.
We'll be watching. Do me a favor. Do me a solid. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment in the comment section. How many yards do you expect Shedeur Sanders to have in passing against the Las Vegas Raiders? Shedeur Sanders will be the starting quarterback this Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders.
But Shedeur stood tall. He locked in, stayed calm, and somehow had the Browns within reach of a win. By the end, he almost pulled off a miracle right out of thin air, and that's wild considering the chemistry he barely has, honestly, doesn't have yet with the squad. Yeah, he made mistakes, but that's part inspiring and part nerve-wracking at the same time. Rees doesn't hide from any of it. Remember that early drive when Shedeur dropped a big one to Harold? That wasn't luck. Rees made sure people know that was the plan. That was them saying, let him cook, and maybe we steal some chunk plays before the defense catches on. And the receivers, guys like Gage got to come down with contested grabs, which is wild, because in the league, the only thing guaranteed is letdowns.
You're right. If you thought that the Browns as an organization are irresponsible and they don't know how to develop young quarterbacks, and this ecosystem with Kevin Stefanski as the head coach hasn't developed anybody despite them lying to the national media, and you've got the CBS broadcast right before Shedeur Sanders came in. It was honestly poetically hilarious because the CBS broadcast is talking about how Kevin Stefanski told them through the week.
But sometimes the gamble hits, which makes the whole thing somehow thrilling and stressful at the same time. And of course, defenses aren't sleeping. The Ravens, slick as ever, adjusted the second Shedeur stepped on that field. Blitzes started crashing in like a tidal wave, and suddenly all those comfort-building plans had to survive real chaos. Pressure was everywhere, and the Browns had no choice but to switch into survival mode. They tried max protection, shifting launch points, tweaking checks, pulling every trick they had, but mistakes are part of the deal when your rookie quarterback is walking through a battlefield on every snap. Shadur had to weave through waves of pressure and classic rookie moments, and even though he stayed calm, those defensive adjustments exposed cracks in both his game and the protection around him. This is the moment where Browns fans start clutching the couch, holding their breath, and praying somebody, literally anybody, comes down with a catch.
To wind up, he can't come back to the Browns after this season unless he is lights out for the rest of the year. Something about that relationship does feel not good. The staff does not seem invested in him in any sort of way, which means he probably has to go somewhere else to get this done. But who wants to sign up for this? This league is not about giving people chances. They give people jobs.
Throw in a rookie trying to find his rhythm behind an offensive line that sometimes looks like it's still figuring out the basics, and you've got the perfect recipe for pure NFL chaos. And somehow, Shadur is handling most of it better than anyone expected. And the mechanics, the mechanics. Early on, Shadur kept drifting backwards under pressure, which is rookie code for, I have no clue where my pocket is, so I'm running away from everything right now. But as the game rolled on, he started settling in, standing tall, planting his feet, letting big passes fly to the right targets. By the time the 2-minute drill came around, he was standing in the heart of the pocket like he owned it, finding receivers, stretching plays, showing flashes of a quarterback who might actually be putting the pieces together out there.
There's no middle ground on this Shedeur discussion.
That's right,
right?
sadly.
So if you take that out, if you had to choose this week, what do you think? Total failure or great success? I mean, nothing you've seen says success.
Yeah, no.
But I do
right.
think he'll be better, and I think I'm excited to see what happens. And to go to the middle ground discussion for one, like
every clean rep is basically a small miracle, and every backward step reminds you he's still a rookie. Comedy and frustration all packed under one helmet, and we can't forget the tempo shifts. The Browns cranked up the speed in the second half, partly because they needed to, and partly because it's the best way to see what he's really made of. Those 2-minute situations forced Shadur to think fast, move fast, and execute even faster. And somehow, through the blitzes, the missed protections, and the straight-up chaos, he still kept his head above water. Watching a rookie quarterback run a hurry-up offense against a real defense is like watching somebody juggle chainsaws while riding a unicycle. Wild, dangerous, and somehow impressive at the same time. Dylan has spots he needs to clean up, but Shadur is trending upward faster than a meme-driven stock explosion. If Shadur keeps balling like this, the tension is only going to get heavier. Everybody knows Kevin Stefanski rides hard for Dylan, but performance always speaks louder than any loyalty.
We're going to make it a bigger story. Dear Shedeur truthers, ask yourself, what does Cleveland or the NFL have to benefit by sabotaging Shedeur Sanders? Number one, young fans like him. Week 1 of the season, he had a top 5 jersey.
This whole thing feels like a slow-cooking quarterback drama, no script, no actors, just real NFL pressure and decisions that actually matter. And then comes the matchup with Max Crosby and the Raiders, because of course the universe throws that at a rookie. Crosby is the type of defensive menace who can ruin an offense without even touching the ball. Strip sacks, tip passes, clogged throwing lanes. He brings chaos from every direction. The Browns gotta neutralize him or at least cut down the damage, all while trying to guide a rookie through his first real dose of deep adversity. It's like teaching someone to swim while dropping them into a pool full of piranhas. But Shedeur is learning, adjusting, surviving, and that's exactly what you want from a young quarterback. You can't ask for much more than that. And let's be real, Shedeur's chemistry with the squad is shaky, no sugarcoating that. That's the key factor for his future success. Talent helps, throwing lasers helps, crazy reads help, but football is a team sport at the end of the day. Timing, trust, and rhythm all matter, and Shedeur simply hasn't had the reps he needs with these guys to lock in that true, seamless connection. Here's the wild part. Despite the shaky chemistry, the miscommunications, and the straight-up unpredictable play calling, Shedeur still almost pulled a win out of thin air. Between the inconsistent snaps, the questionable protection calls, and the constant Shedeur of Dillon Gabriel hovering over the whole situation, it's a ridiculous amount to expect from any rookie, yet somehow Shedeur keeps fighting through it with grit and these crazy flashes of brilliance. It's like watching someone climb a mountain in flip-flops. Painful to watch, but you can't deny it's impressive.
They're the only team in the division that hasn't played 3. So, like, you need Shedeur Sanders to be an NFL quarterback, even if he's not this mega star. Like, you need him to go out there and read defenses and not throw pick sixes and do all those things. Like I said, I think he will be better, but this is important for the future of this franchise that he's at least a competent NFL player, because regardless of who wanted to make the investment.
So what's the real takeaway from all this? Shedeur Sanders is proving he's got the arm, the deep ball vision, and the toughness to survive a rookie season that feels harsher than a reality TV elimination round. He's learning how to stand firm in the pocket, read pressure, and trust his teammates, at least when they actually show up and execute. The coaches are reshaping the offense around what he does well, defenses are adjusting to his tendencies, and fans don't know whether to scream, laugh, or just buckle their seatbelts because this roller coaster is wild. It's the perfect blend of rookie growth and full-blown professional chaos. And right in the middle of the madness, Tommy Rees is out here trying to be the calm center of the storm, breaking everything down like he's got it all under control, while quietly hoping Shedeur doesn't overthink that deep ball when it matters most. But let's keep it honest. If Shedeur keeps shining, anything could happen next. Does he lock down the starting spot? Does he force Kevin Stefanski to rethink his whole quarterback order? Or does Cleveland keep its tradition alive of overthinking, undersupporting, and confusing everybody, including their own quarterback? All these possible outcomes are exciting, nerve-wracking, and low-key hilarious. Shedeur is learning, improving, and giving you moments where you almost forget you're watching a team that has been a cautionary tale for years. The potential is real. The flashes are legit, and the drama is absolutely off the charts. And if the Browns fumble this opportunity, at least we get front row seats to watch the chaos blow up in real time. One deep ball at a time, one pressure-packed snap at a time, because nothing screams NFL entertainment like a rookie quarterback who could either become the next big superstar or a highly talented chaos generator. And Shedeur, he's out here embracing every terrifying, electrifying second of it like he signed up for the thrill ride on purpose. So go ahead.
Because there's always somebody that might give you a second chance and grab you. But in terms of his future in Cleveland, it's this Sunday. He cannot look like trash. He cannot go out there and complete 25% of his passes. He cannot look lost and completely discombobulated. And we're not going to throw out excuses about him not having any reps with the first team. And I'm not saying this negatively towards him.
Browns fans, grab your popcorn. Watch him stand tall in the pocket. Watch him let that deep ball fly. Watch him survive blitz after blitz like he's dodging traps in a video game. And maybe, just maybe, watch him remind everybody that sometimes talent speaks louder than the madness happening around him. Because when the dust settles, Shedeur Sanders isn't just a rookie. He's a pocket-living, deep ball-slinging mystery wrapped in cleats. And the Browns are basically passengers strapped into his roller coaster. And trust me, this ride is about to be wild. Here's the twist, though. Shedeur isn't just surviving the chaos, he's learning how to control it. For every beautiful throw, there's still a moment where he's staring down a blitz like it's a tax audit, and you can practically hear his inner voice yelling, "Why did nobody tell me this was going to be hard?" It's rookie reality TV with helmets, and somehow none of us can look away. What makes it even funnier is how the coaching staff has low-key turned into his personal hype crew. They're tweaking protections, dialing up reps that show off his strengths, and giving pep talks that sound like they were taken straight out of a feel-good sports movie montage. And the players, they're being told to step up purely to boost his confidence. Imagine that. Your teammates literally playing sharper so you feel like a legit NFL quarterback. It's a level of manufactured comfort that borders on ridiculous, yet somehow it works, at least most of the time. And then comes the timing, the second half tempo, the no-huddle rhythm, those 2-minute drills that feel like the league's version of a fire drill while juggling knives. It's chaotic, it's intense, and it's exactly the type of madness a rookie has to swim through to become the real deal. The wild part is this. Every time Shedeur starts heating up, you can feel the entire stadium shift, like everyone suddenly realized, wait, this kid might actually have something. It's that spark, that buzz, that little jolt that runs through a crowd when a young quarterback starts turning chaos into opportunity. And you can bet the coaches feel it too, even if they pretend they don't. Because the second Shedeur steps on the field, the whole vibe changes. Defenses stop relaxing. Coordinators stop sipping water. Everybody stiffens up because they know one missed assignment and Shedeur is launching something deep enough to make the crowd gasp. That's the kind of rookie energy that keeps veterans awake at night.
What have you seen from Shadur, and what are you excited to see kind of take that on the field, full week of work, getting ready here for the Raiders?
He's going to be a great player, I feel. I'm looking forward to seeing the preparation he has this week and being able to go out there confident and seeing him make plays. I know he throws a great ball, and, we're going to rally behind him.
But here's where it gets even crazier. Every time he flashes his talent, it puts even more pressure on Kevin Stefanski. The more Shedeur shines, the louder the whispers get. Fans start saying, why isn't he starting? Analysts start pushing the conversation. Even players start side-eyeing the depth chart like they see something the coaches don't want to admit. And trust me, the Browns feel that tension brewing. It's the kind of silent storm that can flip a locker room upside down if nobody steps in and handles it. Because Shedeur's not just improving, he's building a case. Every throw, every scramble, every calm read under pressure, it all stacks up like evidence in a courtroom. And the league is taking notice too. You can see it in the way defenders start chirping at him, testing him, trying to break him. That's how you know they respect the potential. Nobody wastes breath on someone they don't think is dangerous. But Shedeur doesn't fold. He doesn't panic. He adjusts, resets, breathes, and comes right back at them like he's trying to prove something bigger than football. And honestly, that might be the scariest thing for the Browns coaching staff. He's growing faster than they expected. Because once a rookie starts believing in himself, once that confidence clicks into place, that's when the real chaos begins. The good kind. The kind that forces everyone around him to level up or get left behind. And Cleveland better be ready, because this spark is turning into something way bigger than anyone planned. But that reality check is always waiting around the corner. The Browns still got to deal with those ugly first down struggles, blitz-happy defenses flying in from every direction, and the constant threat of Max Crosby and every other defender built to create chaos on command. Shedeur is finding out the hard way that talent alone doesn't fix everything. Timing, chemistry, and a little bit of luck matter just as much, and Cleveland's quarterback situation has never exactly been known for smooth cruising. Yet even with all that madness, Shedeur keeps threading the needle. He's making plays, staying calm, and giving fans just enough hope to picture a future where he isn't just holding space. He's the one leading the whole thing. And while the coaches keep preaching the process, the fans are already doing their own math. What if Shedeur starts stacking consistent games? What if Dylan Gabriel becomes the backup in name and nothing more? What if Cleveland finally figures out how to protect this rookie before he has to dodge another human missile? As the season keeps moving, the storyline becomes crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders is a rookie with real flashes, deep ball swagger, and the resilience of somebody who's already handled way more chaos than most young quarterbacks ever see. Cleveland is still Cleveland, messy, confusing, unpredictable, but right now, they've got a quarterback who can actually make things happen, even if half the time it looks wild, stressful, and straight up nerve-wracking. And honestly, that's exactly why we're locked in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one.